This is the Lakin Chronicles Road to Recovery podcast with addiction specialist Dr. Greg Lakin. Real people, real stories, real addiction, and real recovery journeys. The road to recovery starts now.
We're back again to the Lakin Chronicles. Doctor, we're going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Phil. Now we have a couple of special guests here. I'm really excited for them to tell you their story because what my hope is here, and we have Misty and we have Trent, and they are not where they want to be right now, and they are going to make a concerted effort to get clean and get off of drugs. And so we're going to monitor their progress in hopes of being part of their success, but also, you know, they are willing to step in and serve as an example and a model to help others do the same thing. Because for people that are out there struggling with addictions, if you have somebody that has been through it, going through it, and can testify about how nice it is on the other side, that is the most powerful kind of message that you can have. And so instead of hearing some doctor ramble on about some kind of neuropsychology about addiction, let's hear it from Misty and let's hear it from Trent. Tell me, just let's start off tell us what happened yesterday. How did we meet yesterday?
Yesterday I got caught stealing the take-home bottles out of the clinic's dumpster to retrieve the leftover methadone out of the small bottles. That's to keep us from being dope sick because we're heroin addicts. With no money, you can't buy drugs, so we were just doing what we could. And while I was in there, I found someone's leftover from lunch, and since we live under a bridge, you can't pass up food that's good. So the bottles, I was gonna let you have those, but I wasn't gonna let you have the food. That's how far down we've come with this.
And that's why I just admire you telling your story, because I know there's maybe some shame and some pride, you know, but at the same token, I really look forward to having a follow-up interview in a few months, and you can tell us how far you've come, and you can tell us what it's like on the other side, because it happens, and I've seen it happen time and time again. So I really appreciate you telling this story. Maybe Misty, tell us how you got started with addictions and how it progressed, and then where you're at right now.
Well, I lost my mom in October, and that made things even worse. I started out young, being, you know, an addict, and it just got worse. After I got the clinic, I got kicked off the clinic, and then I just had to go to street drugs, and then it got to where, you know, I come homeless, and I just got out there.
Tell us how it progressed. I mean, with you, it started with IV drug use, right?
Yeah.
And it started with?
Dilaudid and morphine, oxycontin.
So you were injecting pills.
Yeah.
And this is almost 20 years of this, off and on? Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you've been in treatment before, but
Yeah.
relapsed, and this last episode of relapse was
Bad.
Yeah.
It's the definition of rock bottom. We finally actual full-on rock bottom.
Yeah, we used to live in a house.
We live under a bridge.
Yeah. Had family and stuff like that, and lost everything, even just being a drug addict.
And it didn't take long. It wasn't hard.
No.
It happened in the blink of an eye, really.
It's really easy to become a drug addict and get out there, but it's really hard when you get on the streets and you don't have nothing, and you gotta eat out of dumpsters and, you know, sleep under a bridge. You know, it's cold out there.
And you're both engaged.
Yeah.
You've known each other for a while.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Long time.
Yep. And Trent, tell us your story about how you got started down
I had kind of had things. I had the world by the tail. Got hurt at work, and the doctor gave me some pain pills, some Motabs. And one night by accident, I realized I could get high by taking more than, well, you know, by not taking them the way they were prescribed. So, and that feeling of euphoria was just that was my high, the one that I liked, and it progressed from there, buying those on the streets after the prescriptions ran out, to buying stronger pain pills, to snorting them, to using them IV. And then when the pills got too expensive and the really good job was gone and the savings were gone, then it was to, heroin and whatever you could do cheap,
Well, and you were telling me some things about, well, what does a day look like for both of you? I mean, just tell me, you wake up. And
You wake up and the very first mission is to get a fix, to get well.
Mhm.
I mean, just like a lot of people that come to the clinic, but
Right.
there's no clinic. There's the dope house,
Mhm.
but it's not free and it's not cheap like the clinic. I mean, relatively the clinic is cheap, or affordable.
Right.
A fix is $15-20
Mhm.
per person, and
Yeah.
it's cash up front. So
And how many fixes a day?
about 2. Heroin's not long acting, so
Right.
you gotta have
Never
about 2 to
too
try to
high.
stay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if there's money, if you've got some work and you got some money, you can have the best plans in the world. I'm gonna go buy a gram and that'll last us this many days, and 8 hours later the gram is gone and you're high. But the next day is waking up broke.
Hey Doc, I had a quick question. Now, what about what ages did you guys start?
I started when I was 17.
17?
IV using, yeah.
And Trent, were you somewhere around that age? Or?
No. Well, it was different for me. I mean, I didn't start with hardcore addiction until
Yours was more of a pain relief.
later
at
in
first.
life. Yeah, I mean, it was later in life. In the military.
From that beginning point, how long did it take to get past all the pills to like the injections? Was it a
It
few
took
years?
less than a year. It took less than a year to go from swallowing pain pills to being an IV drug user,
Okay. Well, thanks.
using
Doc.
Lortabs to using OxyContin.
Thank you.
And a lot of people don't know how quick that tolerance happens. I mean,
Oh,
you could, yeah.
it's amazing. I mean, where one OxyContin 80 would get you just loaded, I mean, pretty soon, in a week, 2 weeks, you're doing 2 at a time, 3 at a time,
Mhm.
$40 pills.
Right. An Oxy 80 goes for $40. Or
Yeah.
50 cents a milligram now.
Yeah, at least some places $1 a milligram.
Yeah.
$80 for an 80 milligram pill.
Mhm.
Yep.
And one of the reasons they're so dangerous is that it's a timed release, slow release, but you crush them up and you get 12 hours of opioids right then and there.
15 seconds.
15
Yeah.
seconds.
Yep.
But then it's gone. Yeah.
If you live through it.
If you live through it.
Yeah.
For somebody without a tolerance like yours is now, but like if you would have injected that same amount early on,
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd have been
Yeah.
gone. I'd have dropped out. If I'd have shot an 80 on my first shot, it'd have been that.
right?
So,
And people go through inpatient and their tolerance will go back down and they'll get right back, or they'll go to jail for a while and they'll come back out.
And try to do the same amount that they did before they went
Yes.
in, and thinking they can do the same amount, and they hopefully don't.
and
There's
then
none,
you're
yeah.
eulogizing them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So tell us, so now your day, you wake up, you look for that fix, but then what, we talked about trap houses, like what does that look like to somebody that doesn't know?
A trap house it can be anything. It can look like a normal house, or it can look like the most rundown, shoddy, what you would think is a crack house. It's just,
Could be
you've got
motel.
dealers in there, sometimes several independent dealers. They all kind of just work together. They sell their drugs. A lot of them sell the same drugs, and then usually in a trap you can fix there too. It's,
Right.
as opposed to just some a dealer's room. In a trap you can fix, and
Mm-hmm.
that way it's not as dangerous. You're not walking around the streets with your dope. The police ain't gonna get you, with your paraphernalia or your dope.
And it can be,
But it's dangerous.
I mean, most people, don't you think, have a favorite and then they got a backup?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it just
yeah.
seems to see what.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because
both your
sometimes-
favorites are opioids, I assume now, and heroin.
But cocaine. I mean, if you can't get any kind of opioids, you'll throw some cocaine in there or some amphetamines to try to get you by.
Right.
It's more. It really doesn't help with the withdrawals, but it's partly just about getting high and the psychological part of it.
You're not as miserable if you're kind of numbed through the whole
If you're
thing.
high, yeah.
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 And now, like you said, and this is typical probably for you too, Misty, but let's say you take a point or two of heroin, it doesn't, the euphoria is still not there anymore. It's just about
Getting well.
getting well.
It's gotten old.
It's about feeling
I'm tired.
not sick.
Yeah.
It's all about just not being sick.
Yeah, it's not
being-
about trying to get high or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't really get you high
Yeah,
anymore.
you don't get high
It's
anymore.
gotten old and it's
Right.
you get tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me about the anxiety that comes with addiction. I mean, nobody realizes that that is such a driving force.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you don't. You're sick. You have to get well. I mean, it's
And you don't even
not
wanna
an
get up,
option.
yeah.
It's not. You don't want to get up, but you have to. It hurts to move, and you don't know what you're gonna do. I mean, it's almost full-on panic attack. What am I gonna do?
Scary.
Which is what drives a lot of people to full-on theft and robbery.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
you know, I can't make any money today. No one's wanting to give me any money. Well, you have a choice. You know, you can steal something or rob someone, and you progress to that level really fast. I mean,
You do stuff you normally would never do.
never.
Yeah, I've done things, you know, we've done things that I never knew, I would never thought of, I would have done that, you know, when I was younger, when I first started.
And the neurobiology, I mean, when the limbic primitive survival portion of your brain's running the show, it doesn't care. It's just worried about the next 10 minutes. It doesn't care about tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it's like 100 voices, and I had my addict patients tell me it's like 100 voices against one voice of reason. You know, it's just overwhelming. To just, the fear of being sick is so overwhelming.
You know right from wrong, but
Mhm.
when you're dope sick and you're gonna do what you
You gotta
feel
do.
like you have to do,
Right.
because you feel like you have to do it. I mean,
You're gonna
you're
do it,
sick
you got to.
and you know it's only going to get worse.
Mhm.
You know, and if you make it through 7 or 8 days on something short acting like heroin, it starts to get better. You know, a little better. The physiological, but you still got the moody blues that could last weeks or months.
Yeah, you don't wanna eat,
So you'll
you can't
never make
sleep.
it and stay clean. I mean,
Right.
on your own, trying to cold turkey, it's just too hard. With
And that
no
really is
support.
the difficulty with cold turkey. Cold turkey is just, you still feel like something's wrong, even though you've weathered the storm with physiological withdrawals. The psychological withdrawals,
Kicking your butt every day.
yeah.
Depressed for no reason. You don't know why.
Mhm.
You're just depressed. I mean, everything's. And the only thing you know as an addict is, if I get high, I'm not gonna feel sad. I'm not gonna feel depressed. So it's the cycle like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's the most vicious cycle. And we all chose to be here, but
Right.
We didn't choose to be addicts, so.
well,
Mm.
in a way, we chose to
Yes.
do the drugs. But I mean,
We choose to be where we're at though, today.
Well, and the reason why I have such faith in you guys is both of you are not playing the victim role. You're both, I mean, it's your journey. You know that it's your journey, and you came in knowing that, okay, let's do this. You know, we talk about I got this. You got to like put that in your brain. I got this. Yeah.
Hey Doc, I was going to say too, if you don't mind, you know, the point you're feeling right now that being down, you know, it's on its way up now. So right now you're making a point to say that I'm going to get clean. You've got this. I would tell you before you left doctor's office today to write that down, put it in your pocket, and you're going to get clean. And just keep saying it to yourself. And because my doctor's going to monitor your progress, and I'm going to be there to make sure that, you know, we're writing everything down. But I just think that's fantastic that you have that opportunity to get clean, and think about how good you'll feel the next time we get to talk.
we're happy to be here.
Oh yeah.
Well, I appreciate you. I mean, and our plan this is our plan. So as Trent says, and Misty says, when you're doing this to your body and your brain with opioids or with any drug of abuse, it doesn't matter whether it's benzos or alcohol or anything, your brain thinks your body's in duress. Your brain starts to overactivate the limbic survival portion of your brain. It's primitive. It is just like all about survival. And so that's that panic mode you live in all the time. It's panic, it's anxiety, yeah. And the frontologic portion of your brain that makes all the conscious good decisions is more dormant. And so as we control cravings and withdrawals, we're going to use methadone. Cravings and withdrawals, we use methadone because your tolerance is so high. We can always get you to a point where you have no cravings, no withdrawals, but the long half-life of methadone helps stabilize your mood. And then we're going to look at other things. We want to make sure your serotonin's up to normal. We want to make sure that your anxiety, and if there's any depression or other disorders, PTSD, that it's managed as well. And then we can titrate down and you can get off and your mood will be stable and you will literally feel your brain shift in the next few months where frontal logic starts to re-engage and you all of a sudden feel back in control. And you'll start doing things that you haven't done in a long time, like thinking about the future and having hope. And all those things, being able to love each other appropriately, you know, as husband and wife or as boyfriend and girlfriend, you'll start to feel higher level thinking things come back online and your brain will shift back to normal. It's a process and it's not always easy. And people are going to see that with you too. They're going to say, hey, I have bad days, I have weak days. But together, you guys can support each other. So I really appreciate you guys reaching out. And the reason why you're doing it is to help others. And to get the message out there, because there's some deadly stuff out there, and you've probably lost. Have you lost friends? Have you lost loved ones?
We've lost people that we've met out here on the streets, just out here in the last 6 months, 5 or 6 of them. Just people we've met in the last 8 months. I mean, it's that many.
And this isn't Wichita,
Kansas.
Kansas.
All drug related.
Yes.
That's all drug related. That's not the shootings and the.
Right.
That's still drug related, but this is just overdose type related.
Right.
You know.
Some of the stuff that some of the overdoses have been on, like people think that black tar doesn't have fentanyl in it.
No, it's definitely cut with fentanyl.
Yeah.
It makes it go farther. It gives you more bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
Brings you back to this house as opposed to the other dealer.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna go where you can get the best stuff.
Right.
You
It's
know?
gonna last the longest,
Yeah, you need it to last. You know,
I learned something from you today too. A lot of times it's not necessarily China white or this tannish stuff that's out on the streets all the time, but they mix it with instant coffee.
Cocoa powder. They
Cocoa-
cut tar with instant coffee.
Yeah.
They cut the white. They cut white with cocoa powder. Baby laxatives.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah, it's bad. You never know either. You never know. I mean, you're putting your trust and faith in someone that doesn't care about you at all. They care about the dollars in your pocket, and that's it. You know, if you walk out that door and you die, they don't care because there's 20 more just like you.
mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
It is funny. Sometimes somebody will get on the program and all of a sudden the dealer's not hearing from him for a couple of days, so he calls. It's like, oh, I'm really worried about you.
They'll
Really
come
worried
by.
about you.
They're your friend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they made a lot of money off of you.
Yeah, they're your friend when you're not coming by.
They miss your money.
But when you
Yep.
need something, you need a point. You're supposed to. You need a point for a couple of hours. What are you talking about, man?
It's not worth it. Yeah.
No, it's a cash and carry world out there until you know you're not bringing those greenbacks in.
Well, even at the
Yeah.
trap houses, I understand. Like you said, that you can get methamphetamines. You can get.
Oh, yeah.
You can
That's
get heroin. You can get
One-stop
what.
shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything you want, yeah.
But they'll place orders. They'll tell you, hey, I want a car radio, or
Oh,
I
yeah.
want a.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wanna-
yeah.
They'll tell
Boost-
you
yeah.
exactly what kind of clothes, sizes of clothes, what kind of
Space
diapers,
heaters, yeah, all kinds of
anything,
stuff, yeah, they want
groceries.
for the house,
Yeah.
groceries, yeah,
Wow.
all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff, oh, yeah,
And then your job is,
To go out and
I get it.
procure that.
yep,
and then bring it back, and you get the reward.
yep.
Yep.
Hey, I had a quick question. How many people would you guess are addicts that are on the streets right now in Wichita? If you had to guess.
In the
Oh,
homeless
wow.
community? Of the homeless community, which I don't know the number, I know there are several thousand right now homeless. Over 75% of them are addicts,
Oh my goodness.
and or co-occurring with mental illness, and then the rest of them are, well, most of the rest of them are mentally ill. It's a really, really big problem. It's an epidemic right now.
Right.
It's bad.
And you both are homeless now, but I mean that is strictly because of the addiction. I mean, you're as intelligent as anybody is. You know, so there's going to come a day, as I talked to you both, where we're going to look at this footage in a year from now, and you're going to be saying, I hardly know that guy.
Yeah.
You know, I hardly know. I mean, I got this great job now. I'm doing great. I don't even think like that anymore, and I got no desire to even go back. You will, once your brain shifts, you'll have no desire to even, it'll be like a distant memory.
I don't want that. I'm tired of saying I've got to do this. I want to be able to say I've got this. Instead of saying I've got to do
You
this.
have a lot of people pulling and praying for you. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, we need it.
Yeah. Good.
I don't see this as a handout. I'm hoping that
Oh.
it's going to be a hand up because it's what we've been needing.
Yeah, no, you're paying it forward, trust me. I mean, I have no doubt that that your story is powerful enough to change lives. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of going to funerals. I'm tired of looking in the obituary at younger people that are dying or dead. And it used to be it was because of motor vehicle accidents, but not anymore, because I know who they are and I know what they struggled with. And it's the large majority are overdose deaths.
Opioids.
Opioids, yeah.
Opioids. It's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
There's so many, and it's not just heroin. It's the pills, the pain pills. But man, it's people you would never expect.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So many of them. You never even know to look at them.
I've had some recent people that asked for treatment. They said that they thought they were getting prescription pills, so they knew it was safer because they knew what they were getting, and they found out that wasn't the case at all. It was counterfeit. It was counterfeit oxycodone
and benzos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these pressed pills
Big market.
are put in packets and look just like prescriptions. One guy just said he crushed it up and snorted a fourth of it, and he had to get treatment. And he had a tolerance, or at least he thought he did, but not to this stuff, not to fentanyl and carfentanil.
Mm.
And when they mix it up, they don't mix it. They don't. These aren't rocket scientists, so
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
know.
This is bad. Yeah, this is bathroom drugs. I mean, you don't know what you're getting, who made it. I mean,
Yeah, people
there
that
could have a college degree, or he might not have graduated from junior high, man.
Right.
But he's messing with stuff that you're going to inject into your body.
Mm-hmm.
It's insanity.
It is.
It's insanity.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
Mhm. And then I was really happy to see that. I mean, you both had track marks. You weren't even shooting in your arms anymore. You were shooting in your legs, in your neck, and luckily, I mean, I looked them over. I mean, we don't have any abscesses or infections. However,
Yeah.
that's not uncommon out there. I mean, you've probably seen some.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've ended up with one this year, actually, the first one in my life.
Mhm.
And it terrified me because when it finally burst, I just looked down at my sock and I had this brownish tan, like the color of this stuff, running from a hole in my leg. I had a lump about that big, about that tall, and all of a sudden it decided to bust one, and this stuff ran out of it.
it was thick.
And it just ran out for
kept
days
coming
and
and coming
days.
out. Yeah.
And I thought, I mean, it hurt so bad. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought maybe my leg might rot off. Didn't want to go to the hospital because they're going to know what it is.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to do. You know, are they going to help me? Or are they going to judge me and say, well, you did it to yourself, so go on home and...
You know, I have so many
It's
people
Neosporin.
I've started on antibiotics just in time, but even then, you know, for all the bacteria that came out of that abscess, there was also bacteria, the same bacteria being circulated through your body,
Sure.
lodging on heart valves,
Yeah.
lodging, you know, causing kidney damage, stuff that may cause complications later. We've certainly seen that.
That's
We've abscesses in lungs. I mean, we see that kind of stuff, but
Oh yeah, I used to have holes in my
Septicemia.
legs like this from abscesses and stuff like
End
that.
up
Yeah.
septic in the hospital
Yeah, I
for
used
4
to, yeah.
weeks, you know, at least, you know.
right.
I mean, and that's
Yeah.
if you're lucky and you don't just die because you don't go to the hospital soon enough, you know. If you do, you're septic, you're in intensive care, it's touch and go, and then you're another 6 weeks of IV antibiotics, you know.
Does
tried
that
it?
happen to you or friends?
No,
Good.
my ex-wife,
Oh, right.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
the
we-
last time we barely made it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus.
Yep.
It's very hard to kill, and it's perfusing through your body.
And they don't know,
Okay.
didn't know where it was coming from. It was an abscess in her lung, sitting in
Yes.
the bottom of her lung.
And it came from IV drug use,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
the
But
skin
they-
healed, but it
they
lodged
didn't
in the
know,
lung.
and
Yeah.
they didn't know where the source of the,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the really bad bacteria was coming from.
Yeah.
And
They literally have to go in there and take that out.
they did.
Yeah.
It's called thoracotomy. They had to
Yeah.
go in and dig that stuff out, and it was
Exactly.
horrible.
All right.
All because, yeah, we're doing drugs.
Nope, I get it. No, I'm excited to see where you guys can go. I really am. And as we talked about, and I appreciate you sharing your story, but yesterday, eating a sandwich out of a wrapper, I've eaten a sandwich in a dumpster, you know, and then taking bottles out of the trash in hopes of getting enough methadone so you guys wouldn't be sick from the heroin. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was doing here.
All right. No, I appreciate you guys sharing your story, and trust me, we will look back on this because nobody wants you to succeed more than us. And you both have great counselors, and they have seen and heard it all. And your story is not unusual, and success stories are not unusual. But for somebody out there in rural Kansas or somebody out there that's more isolated, they don't know that. They think they're the only one. They think that it's a dirty little secret, and they're afraid to seek treatment. And my hope is that your message will get out there so that they'll seek treatment and not be ashamed or not be embarrassed, or just know that they can do this.
Absolutely.
Or as we say, I got this.
I've got this, and you guys will have it.
Mm-hmm.
We've got faith in you.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor called last night about it,
So.
Yeah,
and he had full confidence. That's why he picked you too.
that's right. Well, thank you, Misty. Thank you, Trent.
Thank you, Dr. Lakin.
Okay. Take care.
Okay, that's a wrap.
Dr. Lakin is a board-certified family medicine doctor with an emphasis in addiction medicine and over 25 years of experience. For addiction recovery services in the Wichita area, please visit www.centerforchangeks.com or visit samhsa.gov for a national directory of resources and recovery centers in your area. You can also find these links in the podcast description. Thank you for listening to the Lakin Chronicles Road to Recovery podcast. And remember, you've got this.